In the book of Mark, chapter 8, Jesus uses these words. He says, "What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? What will you give in exchange for your soul?" You see, we have to understand that how we use our wealth has an eternal effect on us and on the people around us. You know, I mentioned before already that there are people in this room, people in this church, that have wrestled over what they're going to do with their wealth, how they're going to give back to God, how much they're going to give back to God, and will they be willing to do that? And they've wrestled with all those things. And I told you last week that if you did that you probably would miss it. And for some of you, that's probably true. But I look back over my life and I think about money that I've wasted. Now I'm going to ask you to raise your hand if you've wasted money, because that's just embarrassing, right? Or things that I've invested in that I ended up losing that money. And I can tell you that when I think about money that I've wasted, and I think about investments that were bad investments, I miss that money. I think, man, I just wonder what I could do if I had that. But when I think about money that I had generously given away to glorify God, I've never missed a dime of it. I've never missed it. And you know why? Because if we'll use those cookies the way God has called us to use those cookies, to bring people to God, there'll be more cookies tomorrow. He promised that. Like manna in the desert, He'll continue to bless those who glorify Him with their wealth. My prayer is this, that we will be people who think about how we can glorify Him in every area of our life. And when we start thinking about our wealth, this blessing from God, how can we give Him the most glory? Not with what we give back to the church only, but how we use our wealth that He's placed in our hands to be stewards. You know, God doesn't mind us having wealth. He just doesn't want wealth to have us. Let's bow together. God, you're an amazing God. We thank you for the blessings you give us. Thank you for being blessed people. I hope that we've taken the things that we've studied this morning, and Father, somehow they've touched our hearts, and we need to remember that we're eternal people, that eternity is already in our hearts. And Father, as we are people with eternity in our hearts, may we remember that the things we do matter. The way we live matters, and that there's no way to be your follower without changing the lifestyle that we live. Father, I pray for you to strengthen this church, that we'll use the blessings that you've given us to reach out to people who need to know your Son. They need His life-changing power. They need His forgiveness. They need His salvation. And Father, may those be the things we think about when we're deciding how we're going to use the wealth you've given us. Father, there are people here today who haven't even begun their journey with you. Our prayer is that they'll do that. And as they're considering how to give you glory, they'll consider how their lives will change and how they can use your blessings to give you glory. We thank you, and we're humbled. In the name of your Son, Jesus, and amen. There may be somebody here that you love the Lord and you've not taken up your cross to follow Him, and we want to encourage you to do that. Maybe it's through being buried in baptism and raised to walk in newness of life. We believe that baptism is the beginning of a Christian's journey. We also would like to pray with you if you'd like to pray as the church. We love you and care about your soul. We want to be in heaven with you. We realize that what we do here has eternal consequences. Our elders also will be in rooms A5 and 7 across the hall if you'd like to talk with them and be shepherded by them individually. We just want to encourage you to respond to the invitation if you have that need while we stand, while we sing to encourage you.
My heart will sing, no other name, Jesus, Jesus. My heart heart will sing. No other name. Jesus, Jesus. I'm running to your arms. I'm running to your arms. The riches of your love will always be enough. Nothing compares to your embrace. Light of the